Hello and welcome back to Mark's Garden UK at Rose Cottage near Nantwich in Cheshire. A little over 12 months ago, when I first moved here, I created this formal parterre. It was one of the first projects I did. I love formal boxwood parterres. You are taking a bit of a risk getting boxwood at the moment because there's box blight and there's box tree caterpillar, but I was prepared to take that risk. Apparently it affects older, more mature plants, so we don't have to worry about it just yet. You can see the box plants are coming back really well this spring. Those are the tulips, which are planted quite late. I actually planted those in January this year, which is quite late for tulips, but they're all coming up. Some of them are starting to show signs of flowers. However, getting back to the plot, in creating this parterre, I had to move quite a few mature shrubs from this garden. It was an old cottage garden. If you watch the video, you'll know that there was a big stone trough here. There was a lovely old mature rose bush in the far corner here behind me to my right. There was another rose growing up this pillar. And there was a big hydrangea here. I gave the hydrangea to my neighbour and it's doing really well in their garden. And these two roses I transplanted. And they were quite mature, and you're always taking a risk with a mature rose bush. In this video, I'm going to give you an update. So if you're just watching that rose tree transplanting video for the first time, you're going to get immediate gratification. Other people have had to wait 12 months for this update. So I'll give you an update and I'll show you exactly how those roses are doing. Now, I did move them to the ground, I planted them into the ground in another part of the garden. Well, then I needed that piece of ground for something else. So I had to dig them up again and put them into pots. So these mature roses have actually been moved twice in the last 12 months. So what I'm about to show you just goes to prove that if you take all the right precautions, you don't need to worry too much about moving a mature rose. Now, when I moved those mature roses, they had quite big woody trunks at the bottom under the ground, you know, big woody roots, and now I'd imagine there's quite a lot of energy stored in those roots. The thing I did was that I took as much root as I possibly could with them, and then I replanted them to exactly the same depth. Then I pruned them hard back, and by pruning them hard back, I think it's kind of redressed the balance between damaged roots and plant above the ground. Apart from that, I've not really needed to do a lot more with them, and I'm sure you're dying to see them, so I'm going to take you to my compound, which is in the far corner of the garden, and I'll show you those roses. And here they are, both of them. This is the one that was growing up the wooden pillar that I talked about, and this is the one that was growing in the far corner of the front garden. And you can see they're both perfectly happy. They're both producing lovely fresh new growth here for the spring, and no doubt we'll have blooms and blossoms on them this year. Now, my intention eventually, where I live is called Rose Cottage, so I do intend eventually to create a rose garden, which is why I'm keeping these in tubs. And there's a couple of other roses around the garden which I'm going to dig up and bring together in that rose garden. But anyway, there we are. A bit of an update on the video when I transplanted two mature rose trees. Hope you found that interesting. Hope it's given you the courage and the confidence to go ahead and try and move your roses. Prepare the hole in advance that they're going to. If it's a pot, get some lovely compost in there. Plant them to exactly the same depth. Keep them watered for the first 12 months, well watered. Prune them back a little bit, and you'll be rewarded. Look at this. These are quite lovely roses. Bye for now.